And greetings, fellow humans. I think I'm live. Apparently, I am live. So, yes, this is the first time I go live on YouTube since 2017. So, I don't know how many people are going to sign in and check it out. But still, why not give it a go? Go, go. Yeah, it's been an interesting week where I have insisted on going for it, winging it, just being random, not planning things out, and enjoying myself for that. And that includes the release of my new poetry collection, which is Ballads of Hope and Joy. It's a new poetry collection. It is positive poetry. And I describe and I hope that people perceive it to be a hug in a book, because with the heavy times that we're living, and I hope that people perceive it to be a hug in a book, because with the heavy times that we're living, I thought it would be nice to enjoy ourselves a bit more, and have some kindness and share some kindness and positivity, because why not? So yeah, I just got done with a live on Instagram. I'm doing this live, and I'm going to do a live on Facebook. Again, I didn't announce this. I didn't prepare this. I didn't promote it. That is not the intention of this. The intention of this is to just go with the flow, enjoying myself, and share good vibes with people. Um, it's been interesting I've had the book live like a and also it's a Mother's Day tradition that I publish this book now. People ask me why I didn't publish on Mother's Day, and if you've ever published on KDP, they say that there's a window of when you publish and when it's live, and it can take anywhere from 24 to 72 hours. And I was like, I want to guarantee that on Mother's Day this book is available. So the ebook version is it's already live. So let me actually look up for the link so that I can share that in the chat. Um, See, this is how organized I am. That's the link to the book, Ballads of Hope and Joy. It's $2.99. You can help a struggling writer in his on his writer journey. Sell some books and get it to some more people. So yeah, uh, basically last year, um, I had every intention to finish one project or another project or another project or another project or another project. Nothing was coming to fruition. And by November, I was like, let me check how many projects I have open. When I checked, I had 26 projects open. And I was like, this I have to fix. So, work being work, it's been intense and whatnot. And I just focused and hunkered down and bit the bullet and just went for it. And this year I got more organized. And the beginning of the year was to get more organized and to finish several projects that I was working on at work. And then April came along, and it was NanoFinmo, or NanoFinmo, NaNoWriMo. That's why my confusion. Yes, it is. And how you doing? Yes, it is a poetry collection. It is 88. Well, it is 88 poems, new poems, all positivity, all hope, all meant to make people smile, and to invite them to be kinder to themselves and to others. Because why not? I did leave crumbs, but I would give you not all the cookies, but I would share the dozen of cookies, Margaret. Um, And so basically, last year I saw that I had 26 projects open. I was like, that's not cool. Beat myself up for about half an hour. Realized that you know I'll talk about this more, but beating yourself up over what you haven't done or things that you have done that haven't panned out. I get it, and I do it. We're all human. We can all have moments where stuff doesn't work, but we keep on keeping on, because why not? And Margaret, the goal is to have minimum for June, I do want to publish nonfiction. If I can have one for June, one for July, and one for August, I'm going to be a really happy boy. I do have several projects, and to do this different from Instagram, I'm gonna pull up the document that I have, all my progress report. I'm not going to share the screen because it is kind of embarrassing. And actually, this is bright. How's this for smooth? This is worthy of an infomercial fail. So let me see what else. The first part of the stream was in Instagram. I shared it again, so you can see the recap. I'm gonna do something different here, so no worries. And yes, no, super smooth. But it is very bright outside. I'm very happy for that. But it's like, let me actually close this 1 second. And it is called Story Time with JD Estrada. And I actually have a cover from a fellow booktuber and very good friend. But I'll talk about that on another occasion and leave that little tidbit there. I have a horror short story collection in Spanish, and I have like 4 or 5 of those already written. Well, the summer series beyond. The Secret of Life, Margaret. Okay, there's a couple of stuff to unpack there. So I'm going to be working on nonfiction, but I'm also going to be working on poetry, and I'm going to continue work on Beyond Human because, yes, I have to. I have to. And I did progress a lot on Beyond Human during the month of April. So that was pretty cool that I was able to get so much done in terms of that project. And while transcribing and editing and writing, I was able to just find out a lot of stuff about where it has to go, where I have to adjust, where I have to get a little bit more meat, where I have to take out more meat, where I have to switch. And actually, I got to chapter 27, and I will be rewriting the outline for it's going to be at least 17 more chapters, but seeing what I wrote, that number can actually change. So I won't know until I start work on the second draft, and again, each book is its own little beast and its own little adventure. So I'm going to be working on nonfiction, on poetry, short stories, on novels, on pretty much everything, and just going from one to the other, trying to make the most of momentum and enthusiasm, and just going for it. I also have an English horror short story collection. I am working on the translations of 2020. When I say translations, 2020, the book is half English, half Spanish. It's been nice that some people have ventured to read more in Spanish because of this book, and some people have ventured to read more English because of this book. But I want the stories in each language, or just the stories and the work in general, to reach more people. And that's been a challenge with that book, because being a bilingual book, some people go like, well, I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not going to pick it up, or I don't speak English, so I'm not going to pick it up. And it's been weird, but it's been what it is. So basically, I'm working on 2020 plus 1, más uno, and 2020 plus 1, to release in 2021, because why not make a pun out of a title? There are 2 other projects that I want to talk to you about. One is Wicked Nursery Rhymes. I read Nursery Rhymes earlier in the year. It was very fun, very different, and it sparked an idea to write nursery rhymes that would scare the crap out of you. So expect that. I am about 40% done with that one. Actually, I do have different percents, but yes, actually, Alba, it's 2020, escogiendo lo que dice en español, traduciéndolo en inglés, and what I did in Spanish, putting it in English, so that people can enjoy the book that they haven't before. But I am working on other that those ones are more in the back burner in terms of bilingual projects, because I have to see how I pull those off. Making a bilingual project brings its own set of challenges. First off, to make it work. Second off, so that I'm happy in both languages. And hey, Katya, how you doing? Uh, they're all a bunch of fun. All the projects are honestly a lot of fun, and I'm not saying that because they're mine. But yes, I am saying that because they're mine. So whatever. So those are the next projects that I have. I do also have the Daydreams on the Sherbert Shore Volume 2. I did work on the first volume of the Sherbert Shore, which are middle grade short stories in English. Very whimsical, very fun. Also happy that you were able to tune in. And by the way, if anyone has a question, Margaret still has a question that I haven't answered. If you have a question, leave it in the chat, and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. I'll get to Margaret's very soon. I'm going to be rereading the Daydreams on the Sherbet Shore now that a lot of time has passed, and also because I do want to add a bit of page count so that I can get a better spine on the cover, and because once upon a time I sent those books. Alba, I do have a wicked side in terms of creativity and in terms of what I write. Not everything is wicked, but there is a wicked side. I do enjoy it, and I have horror short stories in English and Spanish. And in Spanish, there's one in No Cierres los Ojos dos, and there's another one in Proyecto Cthulhu. No Cierres los Ojos dos is a horror short story collection in Spanish by Libros Acon, and I wanted to do something related to the situation that's going on in Puerto Rico in terms of domestic violence and what women have to endure in Puerto Rico. And because it's very important to me, and I did want to shine a light in terms of the situations that women go through in Puerto Rico and in general. Because if you speak to anyone, in anywhere in the world, the stories that you get to listen to are really, really intense. And I wanted to do a story that would show a different side of that and show some of what people have to experience. I do think that I did it, and it's set in Puerto Rico, and that entire collection feels very Puerto Rican. So I'm taking that one. I took that story and I'm included it in a horror story collection in Spanish, and I do have one in English that I'm also working on. The idea is to have all those horror stuff available for fall. And yes, it's going to be a busy year. Margaret, in terms of your second question, is there going to be a companion volume that reverses the poem's languages? That's actually what I'm working on. It's half in English, half in Spanish. And basically what I did was a rough translation from English to Spanish and Spanish to English. And basically I'm going to rework and try to make it work as best as possible in each language. I could do a direct translation, but rather than do that, I wanted to do something with a little bit more oomph. And in terms of your other question, how do you go from release to release without dwelling on the reception of each? I just do. For this year, I'm gifting myself this year the ability to just publish and go for it and not organize myself too drastically. Because yes, there is science to this. Yes, I probably could get more sales if I did this in a more organized and stepped way and stuff like that. I completely get it, and I actually agree with that. But for this year, I don't care. I just want to publish and share and put stuff out there. It's been a while since I put new stuff out, and I do have other projects in the works, and I do have other surprises in the works. If by any reason those other projects get traction and come out first, so be it. In terms of the short story, Margaret, no, but there are other stuff. There are other, it's a topic does bother me that it's so prevalent, right? In the U.S. and in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, there's been several cases in this year, man. High profile cases that are very sad and very frustrating because I don't understand it. And and seeing how people are reacting, it's just very heavy and very sad. And to be able to say that I know that I can go out at night and only have to worry about getting shot or mugged versus all the other things that women have to worry about and how women are targeted. It's just an uncomfortable sentence to be able to say, you know, so confidently that that's the case. I don't get it. But it is what it is. Um, in terms of that, Katya, that's something that I've worked on in Beyond Human and the human cycle in general. The Corsairs, to talk a little bit about that project, the Corsairs are vampire pirates. On the ship, they're on the Black Calico, which is a Spanish galleon, and there is a backstory of where that ship comes from. The Corsairs basically are survivors that are empowered because they are saved or related to some type of assault or violence. I wanted to empower all these women, show that different heights, different kinds of women that are strong, and in terms of what happens afterward or the aftermath, it is the decision of the woman of what goes down. It's not up to the court, it's up to the woman. It's a very personal opinion. Some people might find that wrong. Um, I don't. I don't. I do have way too many friends who have been survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, and stuff like that to go like, well, you have to understand. I do not understand. That is period. Um, as for that, Margaret, I'm just working on so many stuff that if you got lost, don't worry, I get lost too. But we're talking about ballads of hope and joy. I went on a tangent. You guys got a lot of updates here. Uh, and you got, in terms of other projects, I mentioned several, but there's three other poetry collections, a haiku collection that I have to design the art for, and that actually might creep up and go up on my priority scale. I have another nonfiction for more writing out loud, which is based on the blog. I have a sci-fi book that I started and then I sent to two beta readers. And the thing is that both beta readers had the same thing to say. So I've let it marinate in my brain. Hey, I think that's a great idea. Uh, if they're doing an anthology, let me know. I'd be down for that. So I have that. And actually, someone asked me, I got the first review a couple of weeks back for my Blank Comics project. Blank Comics, basically, I I design the panels and I number them and I describe what appears in all of the panels and I give you an idea of what the plot is and I write all the dialogue and the sound effects and stuff like that. But it's for people to draw. It has several intentions of you know, first off, to give artists the opportunity to have something for their portfolio. Second off, to teach people how to draw a comic. Third off, to promote the tolerance of points of view, because if I say draw a car and I don't give you too much information, and you ask that of five people, they're going to draw five different cars. And who's right? All of them are right. Um, as for the domestic violence, Ama, I never enjoy doing things that are too triggering or lingering on the violent aspect of it, because some people get to the point where uh, they almost enjoy the descriptions too much. And I've seen other people be turned off by books, and I've been turned off by books and movies that are just very graphic and gratuitous in terms of the violence. I don't think you have to be that explicit to make a point. Um, and in terms of those topics, there are in several ways that we can tackle it, and I think we can tackle it in a tasteful way where we make a point without having to just go overboard. Again, there are so many books that double down on descriptions that you go like, do you really, does it really bother you because you almost enjoyed that description a bit too much? um so in terms of blank comics, going back, I almost lost the point. um well, Christie is, I often say that in terms of indie writers, Christie is elite. She is one of my favorite authors, and she's also a very good friend. It's cool to be able to have those conversations with her about different things. The topics that she tackles are pretty dark and pretty intense. So, blank comics. I'm taking the stories of Raining Dead and Tricks and Ladders, and I'm gonna do them in book form. So there's that, and I'm saving that. I'll do a deeper progress report of that. Something I did on Instagram that was fun is that I scrolled a couple of times in Ballads of Hope and Joy to read a poem. I read 3 poems there, so I'm going to read 2 here. Not because I don't love my people on YouTube as much, but because this is already 22 minutes long, and I go long. I talk a lot. So, 5. Let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually, I'm gonna look for one. Well, no. Mhm. This one's called Drawing the Good. This is on page 30. Finding something to complain about is as easy as finding something to be thankful for. Where do you want to put your effort? Where does energy go to? For the mind can mimic the will, and will can turn magnetic, bringing things closer. Or is it that when we choose to see the best, more of that comes to keep our vision company? Whatever the reason, whatever the way, best to think and focus on the good to keep the less good at bay. And one more scroll. Mm, this one I'm going deep in the collection. Here's one. This is page 95. I got deep into the collection. It's called Diverse Skies. There are many things in the sky, with many closer than you think. Some are familiar, some are foreign, some are unidentified, and some are dreams. The more we accept that different things can fly in the same sky, the easier it is to appreciate the beauty of diversity without needing a reason why. So, again, an invitation to be accepting and love, kindness, and all that good stuff. Um, and Margaret, your mind is going in many directions with what? Because I've been talking about a lot of stuff, and I'm happy that's the case, Katya. I always try to have things leave a good impression, or get people thinking, get the creative juices or mental juices flowing, or give people the idea of being nice to other people, or at least this collection. As for drawing the good, yeah. Uh, yeah, there are so many good things that we can share, that seeing that the knee-jerk reaction of people is to share bad is like, man, is that the best choice? It's your choice. It's your choice. But is that the best choice? I don't know. So yeah, that's 5 poems that I've read from this collection in 2 live streams, and this is 25 minutes long. Yeesh. Completely agree that we need more good and more kindness. It is in short order. I don't know why. Well, I do know we've been locked down. Some people have different reactions to that, and I get it. I do think that if we can be kinder to each other and take care of each other, things would be better. But that's my opinion, and some people will think that I'm full of it. It's their prerogative to have an opinion. Anywho, 26 minutes into this. Yeesh. Does anyone have any final questions? If you have a question in English, I'll answer in English. If you have a question in Spanish, I'll answer in Spanish. If you want me to answer a Spanish question in English, just say so. But rounding this out so that I can have a break, get more tea, and get more water, so that I'm not as parched. And this one was a lot more of giving you an update of where I am and what I'm working on. And actually, first off, I got my second shot. Second off, this is one of the projects that I'm working on. And since my handwriting is so awful, I can show you there is progress. And the intention is to have more. As for favorite poem in the new book, wow, I think it depends on the day, and I do think I'm really fond of one from I did inspired by Bob Ross. Um, you know what? I'm gonna close with that one. I'm really fond of that one, and I'm also really fond of the first one. The first one is called Seashells. I'm not gonna read that one, but Seashells, and I think the idea for this collection was born there. Um, a cousin of mine, we reconnected after Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. She's been in California most of her life and whatnot. She had a partner for several years, and they got married a couple of months before he passed because he wanted to make sure that she was taken care of and whatnot. Very lovely couple, and she's super lovely, and so nice, and she's been so kind. And she asked if she could take one of my poems and read it at his wake. And I was like, uh, "Give me a second, and I'll write you something. I would rather write something for you guys rather than you take something and it's nice to appropriate and adapt and whatnot. But I would rather write something for you. So I wrote Seashells for Allie and Hank. And it talks about seashells. I'm not going to tell you more than that. Probably if you check on Amazon, since it's the first poem, you can probably read it. And maybe I'll read it on a Facebook Live that I plan on doing later today, because why not? So, the Tao of Bob. This one's for Katya. There once was a wise man that didn't look the part. He wielded red and cyan on a TV show about art. He wore his hair up in a fro, with dulcet tones he spoke. For many fans he soothed their woes, and inspiration he often woke. The oddest little things would make you smile, like when he'd beat the devil out of a brush. You'd always be happy to watch a while, to be reminded to calm down, breathe, no rush. He'd often talk of life's canvas and many other gems, and how errors sometimes happen. Happy mistakes that happen now again, which are often opportunities in a fashion. So whack the brush and paint your heart out, or write, compose, or dance if you like. Whatever it is that makes your heart shout, let those muses in to inspire and strike. I was really fond of that one. And as as for the lack of speed, yeah, I'm happy you enjoyed it. As for the lack of speed of vaccination, there are challenges worldwide. I'm a writer. I'm a scruffy dude. I have no idea why it takes so long or the resistance to it, but it is what it is. And I'm so happy that you enjoyed it. Anyways, 30 minutes. I think it's good. It's a good chunk. The I know it was rhetorical, but I also asked myself the same thing. So I share the question. Anything else to talk about? People ask when the next release is. I'm aiming for June. Wish me luck. I need luck and energy. I shall continue working on Beyond Human and several other projects. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more of these lives. If you guys enjoyed it, by all means, let me know. And yeah, if you have any more questions, I'm going to go on Facebook in a while, not immediately, because I need a break. The artist needs a break. No, but I'm hungry, so I'm going to get a bite. Thanks for the universe of luck. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. Thanks for all lovely messages that I and support that I get from around the world. It means more than people know, and it's very sweet and it's very lovely. And I do my best to give back and to share good stuff. So till next time, peace, love, and maki rolls. If you go bananas, go double O bananas. And much love, guys. Ciao.